Hi, my name is Kurt, and this is my studio. You know, I was thinking on my little walk this afternoon, I was thinking back as a kid, and one of my favorite TV shows was a show called Flipper. Flipper was all about the antics of this kid named Bud and his pet dolphin, Flipper. And I got to thinking, I thought, that would make a great thing to draw. So here's the Bud and Flipper, how to draw a dolphin. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. As we look at our page, the first thing we're going to want to do is to draw a straight line, somewhat in a diagonal. And then we're going to draw a crossbar across the top of it, almost like the letter T that's leaning over. And then we're going to draw one more straight line across the bottom there. It's important to keep sure these are straight because they will help give us contrast with our curved lines. So the top here, let's go ahead and move into drawing the tip of his mouth or his nose. And this little mark here, you want to make it straight, almost going across the top of his nose. And then try, as we draw the back side of him, get a real long, slow curve. And you can see that I've tried to draw my line a couple times, and that's okay. It will just add to the overall feel of the drawing. Next, I'm going to add a little eyeball. I don't want that eyeball completely round. I want it to be more oval. From here, just a little bit lower than the eyeball, I'm going to draw his first fin. And you can see that with the fin, I have a little bit of a straight line and another straight line, and it curves right back up again. Now I'm establishing the top of his head where it comes in contact with his nose and mouth, making it nice and straight across the top, working on the line that kind of changes the tone of his body from the top being gray to the bottom part being white. Just really trying to get these in accurate. So here's his mouth. And you could see when I got to the tip of his nose, I kind of made a nice strong angle. So it really gives a sense that it turns the corner or shows the front part of his mouth. Here I'm just really establishing these straight lines because they will give a lot of nice contrast to the curve line that's on his back. All right, let's get that other fin in. I'm drawing lightly. Always draw lightly. You could always come back and darken your lines, especially the ones that you're not sure of. All right, trying to darken in the underside of him there versus the line on his back that's sort of light. Okay, let's work on his tail down here. And the first thing I'm going to draw is the bottom part of the tail. And that's a slight curve. And then the top of his tail is more of an S curve. It's very subtle. And look very carefully how the one line of his the bottom part of his body overlaps, and I make the right side of his tail come behind it. All right, let's work on the top fin here. Not too big. And there we go. Not too bad here. All right, just darkening a few lines here now that I have my form in place. I'm sure you're doing a great job. You should email me your pictures. I'd like to see them. Yeah, email them at kurt@kurtasplund.com. All right, let's work on the underside here, because his skin changes tone to be more of a white underbelly. All right, let's get his friend here, who's a little bit further in the distance. And we know that he's in the distance because we are going to draw him a little bit smaller. All right, first we're going to start off with this curve. This is the underbelly again, so we're going to use that first curve more as a guideline and then draw these lines on top straight. Get his nose in. And make sure when we draw the back side here, we're gonna get his head to come straight out of his nose. Just trying to get everything squared up here. All right, starting from the tail and coming forward, you get a nice curve, and then right into that nose, a nice sharp straight down. Excellent. All right, let's get that back fin in here. Yep, I'm just darkening in. Other fin here. Looking good. Now once again the eyeball, and I don't want to make it a perfect circle. I just almost want to make it small and subtle. First let's get the top of his nose in here and the underbelly. Alright, here we go with his eye. Yep, nice and subtle. Just a couple more things here. We have to put his tail in the back part of his fin. Yeah, when you draw, you want to just really use the straight versus curves. When you put a straight line in, you want to contrast that with a curve someplace. So let's get his back fin here. Nope, this one I probably made a little too big. That is definitely too big, but oh well, that's okay. See, even I make mistakes. And you know me, I prefer not to erase. I just kind of own my mistake and just move forward. Don't get hung up of trying to make a perfect drawing. It's more important that you keep moving forward. And you could always draw it a second time. All right, we put a line in, a straight line, and now we're curving his tail. We're using that straight line as a guide. Okay, now all that's left really is to make some splashes. And you can make these however you want. There's no particular size here. Some little bubbles popping up out of the water as well. You got this. And like I said before, if you're not so sure, if you don't like how it turned out, it's all right. Do another one. And the more you practice, the better you get. All right, great job.